Good morning, everybody, and we'll donate this shiur לרפואת הפצועים from yesterday, and לעילוי נשמת 4 people who were killed in a terrorist activity yesterday in באר שבע. יהי זכרם ברוך. Yeah, so פרשת שמיני, פרשה י"א, dealing. Actually, we don't feel that many times in Sefer Shmot and Vayikra and even Bamidbar, we deal at length at the 8th day or at the 8 days of the Miluim and the 8th day, because we read the Retzef, the flow of the Torah in Parashat Trumat Etzaveh. The Torah orders about Mishkan, and then in Vayakel they would do it, and then in Vayikra we have just a korbanot, but we don't feel that it's one long way, because on Parashat Kudei, Moshe wants at the 8th day to start with Melechet HaMishkan. He cannot do it, and he does it here again in Parashat Shemini. And each time the Torah deals with different aspects of the 8th day. In Parashat Kudei, it's a problem to get into the Mishkan. It's foggy and it's full of Shechina. And in Parashat Shemini, it's a problem with the Vaviu. So actually, we'll deal now with either the death of Nadan Vavihu, or at the Koteret, the title of the Parsha, Vahi Bayom HaShmini, symbolizing the Aleph Benisan, the 8th day of the Miluim, which is Aleph Benisan, the beginning of the Mishkan. I just want to add that we all know that the 8th day of the Miluim is Aleph Benisan, right? But there is a shita, must be mentioned, the Ibn Ezra, that it wasn't Aleph Benisan, meaning that it started from Kaf Gimel Adar till Aleph Benisan. That was the 8th day. No, Ibn Ezra says it was from Aleph Benisan till the 8th day. So according to him, Vayi Bayom HaShmini is Akamat HaMishkan on Chet Benisan, but that's a Shitat Yachid. Most of the Meforshim, Midrash, whatever, they say that it's a Maila of the Aleph Benisan. And anybody who learned Masechet Megillah recently, it was in Daf Yomi, so knows that when the Masechet Megillah starts at Daf Yud with dealing with all the Vayhi Bimei, so they say that the Shvach of the Aleph Benisan, 10 things were said about Aleph Benisan. One of them is that is Yom of Akamat HaMishkan. So it's clear from the Gemara that the Gemara holds unlike the Ibn Ezra. That's just a אוקיי, ויהי ביום השמיני, רב אבא בר כהנא פתח, כן? another פתיחה. חוכמות בנתה ביתה, טבחה, שלחה נערותיה וכולי. So in Mishlei Tet, Shlomo HaMelech speaks about the wisdom, and the wisdom, he describes it as like, a woman in a house, that he speaks b'shvach, praising the woman, how smart she is, how she built her house very nicely, and she cooked very nicely, etc. So he speaks about the chokhmah. So it's not clear what he says, because he doesn't say anything, just quotes from the pasuk without adding anything. So Rab Yirmiyah bar Ilai patar kra bebriato shel olam. So Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Ilai holds that Shlomo Melech doesn't speak just about the wisdom as a virtue, as a midah, but he speaks about the creation of the world. Chokhmot banta beita, זה הקדוש ברוך הוא, לכתיב בשם בחוכמה ייסד הארץ. So when do you use the wisdom, the chokhmah, in הקמת העולם, in בריאת העולם, the creation of the world. חצבה עמודיה שבעה. So according to the pasuk, חצבה עמודיה שבעה, the wisdom is carved its pillars, 7 pillars. It has 7 pillars who holds the building. כן? אלו 7 ימי בראשית, שנאמר כי 6 ימים עשה השם את השמיים ואת הארץ, ויברך אלוקים את יום השביעי. So if you look at the creation, you have the number 7, the 7 days of creation, and each one of them is like a pillar. It has its own dignity. What was created in the first day, what was created in the second day. We know that we have a different Shir Shel Yom. The Gemara in Rosh Hashanah Lamed Aleph describes what exactly is the difference between one and another. The second day is affiliated to the separation. The third day is affiliated to the uniting, etc. Okay. Tavcha tivcha. Okay, so tavcha tivcha meaning that cooked its cakes or whatever. מה זה אומר לטבוח טבח ואכן? Yes, to cook, to bake. What does it mean? ויאמר אלוקים תוצא הארץ. So the outcome of the creation is תוצא הארץ. עצים, דשאים, whatever. That's the outcome, that's cakes of the 7 days. מסחה יינה, so it the woman, the wisdom, הקדוש ברוך הוא, whatever, spilled its wine, okay, or poured its wine into a cup. ויאמר אלוקים יקבעו המים. So יקבעו המים, הקדוש ברוך הוא is like not an architect but a cook that uses liquids. He has יקבעו המים and uses cakes, which is earth and its outcomes, trees, grass, etc. אף ערכה שולחנה, the woman has set her table, ויאמר אלוקים תדשה הארץ דשא עשב מזריע זרע. So it's very nice, דשא עשב, the depiction of the Midrash is like if you look at a grassy ground, it looks like a table. Yes, it's a nice now everything after the winter is very wet and you see the grass, so it's very green. It's like Shulchan Aruch. It's mamash gives you the impression that you want to eat on it, to use it. Shalcha na'arotea tikra, so the woman is called her servant. Ze Adam v'Chava. That's a na'arotea. Al gapei meromet meikeret, שהסיתן הקדוש ברוך הוא וקרא אותן אלוהות. So al gapei merom meikeret, merom meikeret meaning it was on the highest place of the city, meaning סיתן הקדוש ברוך הוא וקרא אותם אלוהות. הדאו דכתיב והייתם כאלוהים. So the נערותיה, the servants, אדם וחווה, not only were used as servants, as secondary figures, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu made them Elohut, made them the main thing of the world. They became the highest place of the city. Yeah? אחרי כל השבח הזה, מפתי יסורנה. So as to Rabbi Yirmiyah Bar Ilai from here, the whole description is a description of the Briat HaOlam and how HaKadosh Baruch Hu took nothing, nil, nothing, and made it into a world, and took Adam and Chava, gave them the role in the world, and made them mamash like God. אחרי כל השבח הזה, who is so stupid, מפתי יסור הנה, הן הניחו דעתו של הקדוש ברוך הוא, והלכו אחרי דעתו של נחש. פתי, כן? הנחש פיתה, טמפט, זה איב או חווה, whatever. כך חסר לב. They don't have לב, you know, לב in the mikra doesn't mean the heart, it means a lot of times the reasoning. I point out here, it's not true, the lev is here, but according to the mikra, the wisdom is not only here, but here as well. Okay? So, חסר לב. מפתי יסור הנה חסר לב. אמרה לו, כי עפר אתה ואל עפר תשוב. Okay, so as to now we understand all the description of Mishlei Perek Tet relating to the Bria and the loss, the החמצה, the tragedy of Adam HaRishon and Chava, who didn't stand the ma'amad, the stage in which they were, and became sinners tempted by the snake. Okay. רבי יונה בשם רב עמה בר ירמיה פתר קרא בגוג לעתיד לבוא. We know that, okay, חוכמת בנתה ביתה, זה בית המקדש. Now it's a house, so the former Perush was that the Bait is the whole world. Now we pinpoint it to just to בית המקדש. הדאו דכתיב בחוכמה יבנה בית, okay? The house with ה' הידיעה is בית המקדש. חצבה עמודי השבעה אלו 7 שנים של גוג. So as we know from ספר יחזקאל, פרקים ל"ז ל"ח, there is Gog. Actually we call him Gog ומגוג, but it's a mistake. It's Gog מארץ המגוג. Yes, just one king, Gog, and you know a lot of the Perushim that it was maybe Hitler that conquered most of Europe or whatever, where Baruch Hashem we want it to have been. So דאמר רב יונה בשם רב אבא בר כהנא, כל אותם 7 שנים מסיקין ידותיהן של חרבות וידותיהם של רמחים וידותיהם של סכינים. הדאו דכתיב ויצאו יושבי ערי ישראל וביערו והסיקו בנשק ומגן וצינה בקשת וחיצים ובמקל יד וברומח וביערו בהם אש 7 שנים. So when Yechezkel describes Gog Magog, he says that it will be a king that will conquer most of the world, will come to Yerushalayim, and then in Yerushalayim there'll be a big ness, a big miracle, and he'll lose everything that he has, and the 7 years it will take for the fire that will be burned to lay down. So ויצאו יושבי ערי ישראל, all the citizens of עם ישראל, of ארץ ישראל, they'll burn 7 years all the weapons, all the חיצים, all the קשת made of wood, all the even the knives, the knives הכתות, yes, no, the knives is metal, the cut is I don't know how to say cut, the holder is made of wood. So they'll burn it. ואותם 7 שנים הן פרטגמטיה של צדיקים לעתיד לבוא, וסימנך דאביל פרגמטיה אחין משטותה. So these 7 years, that's the end of the world, that's עמודי השבעה, that's זה שכר לצדיקים לעתיד לבוא, that's מיועד for the tzaddikim just afterwards to rest and to start the new world to come. ותבחה תבחה, בשר גיבורים תאכל, כן? So what is תבחה תבחה? So we know that the tevach in Hebrew has double meaning. From the one side, is usually in modern Hebrew, we relate to the second meaning, but in the Tanakh, it means to cook. Okay, like tabach, like cook, but we don't say tavcha, we say afta, bishla, whatever. We don't use the word tavcha. But the word litboach actually means a massacre as well, and a big slaughter. And since in Milchemet Gog uMagog there'll be a big slaughter from the goyim, so that's tavcha utavcha besar giborim tochel. All their heroes will be dead. Mascha yaina. So yaina means a liquid. Vedam nesi'ei aretz tishte. Okay, so another posuk in Yechezkel that there'll be a big loss to the army of God. Af archa shulchana usvatem al shulchani sus varechev. So Am Yisrael will then be the big winner of the world, and all the weapons, the army, whatever, will be distracted. Shalchana arotea tikra. זה יחזקאל, שנאמר כה אמר השם אלוקים, אמור לציפור כל כנף ולכל חיית השדה. So here the servants are not אדם הראשון and חווה, here the servants are the witnesses, the servants you call them in order to witness that the reality is as you see it. And since Yechezkel said that afterwards we'll call each bird, each animal in the world in order to testify that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has fulfilled what he has promised, the death of Gog, the end of Gog. That's the posuk. So okay, till now not related to the Parsha at all. One perush about the creation of the world, one perush about the end of the world. Okay. Kapara patar kra b'Torah. So Mishlei, that's a nice thing in Sefer Mishlei. It's very difficult to learn Sefer Mishlei because each word is like a clue. You can take it, there is no pshat even. You can take it all over to different topics. חוכמות מנתה ביתה זו תורה. עדה עוד הכתיב, כי השם ייתן חוכמה, השם קנני ראשית דרכו. So the big, I'll say, the חוכמה in הידיעה is a Torah. In the former Midrash, we saw the bite in הידיעה. The house is בית המקדש. Now we focus on the חוכמה in הידיעה, which is the Torah. חצבה עמודי השבעה, okay? אלו שבעה ספרי תורה. We're nearing into פרשת בעלותך, and we know that unlike that we say חמישה חומשי תורה, in הגדה של פסח, let's say, so there are שבעה שבועי תורה, okay? We have 7 books. אלו שבעה ספרי תורה, זה מדרש אסק ולא חמישה הם, בר כפרה אבית מרישב דוידבר עד ויהי בנצוע ארון חד, ומנחד עד ויהי בנצוע חד, ועד סעיף אחד הרי שבעה. So we know that in פרשת ויהי בנצוע ארון, במדבר י', we have נונים הפוכים, like brackets, and the parasha in between, ויהי בנצוע ארון, is just 85 letters, 85 אותיות. So according to the tfisa of the Midrash, the Gemara, I think in Shabbat as well, we have 3 Sfarim in Sefer Bamidbar. From the beginning of the Sefer till Perek Yud is 1, the 85 letters in the Parashat Vayinsoa is one Sefer, and it has outcome in Ilchot Shabbat, that if you Chas v'shalom see a sreifa, a fire, and there is Sefer Torah which is burnt, Chas v'shalom. So if only you have just a cloth with 85 otiyot, it's like Sefer Torah because Vayhi B'Tzoa is 85 otiyot, so you have to be matzil it. Okay, and from Parashat Vayhi B'Tzoa till the end of the Sefer, another book, so we have 3 books in one Sefer, ending with 7 books. We'll deal with it at length in Parashat Bayalotcha. Okay. Tavcha tivcha, so the Torah, we speak about the Torah, what is the 7 pillars, the 7 books. Tavcha tivcha, it's ochel, meaning haonashim. Mascha yeina, elu kalin v'chamurin, גזרות שוות, meaning all the virtues, מדרות שהתורה נדרשת בהם, from which you can learn, you can develop the Torah to learn all the things from the explicit psukim. Okay, so you have the food is the punishment, and it's interesting the look that of the Midrash, that I wouldn't say that the main thing of the Torah is a punishment. Yes, the Midrash looks at the Torah as a Sefer Chukim, as a book of rules, and the punishment are the rules, and that's the food. The yain is the ways in which you can learn or develop and extrapolate more and more to learn more. אף ערכה שולחנה, אלו הערכים. So it's not clear from the Midrash what it means. It can be related to Arachin at the end of Parashat of Sefer Vayikra, meaning the Shovi of Am Yisrael. Yes, there are different Shovim, but I think that it's like the modern meaning of Arachin, like the values, the virtues, the good midot that we learn from the Torah. שלחה נערותיה תקרא, so here the servants are אלו ישראל, על גפי מרום העיקרת, now the Midrash like in Aleph develops each and every word of the Pasuk, unlike in Bet that they just use the Reisha of the Pasuk, על גבי מרום העיקרת, שהסיתן הקדוש ברוך הוא וקרא אותן אלוהות, שנאמר אני אמרתי אלוהים אתם. As we see in שיר של יום אוף יום שלישי, הקדוש ברוך הוא thought in מעמד הר סיני that עם ישראל is ממש אלוקים. אני אמרתי אלוקים, אתם ובני עליון כולכם. And then he was so disappointed after חטא העגל, לכן כאדם תמותון וכולי וכולי. But הקדוש ברוך הוא gave עם ישראל למעלה in מעמד הר סיני, that they ממש were like אלוקים. So the Torah builds his own building, including everything. And now Am Yisrael was in a very high stage, the highest of the town. אחרי כל השבח הזה, מפתי יסור הנה, הן הניחו דעתו של הקדוש ברוך הוא ואמרו לעגל, אלה אלוהיך ישראל, בשביל כן חסר לב, אמרה לו, אכן כאדם תמותון. So again you see the agony, the צער of, the החמצה, the miss of עם ישראל, how they left all the good things in their stage and left into חטא העגל. Now another time, not related to the parasha, but we're getting closer, because we talk now about the 8th day of the Mishkan, which is after Chet HaEgel, so we can understand now that the stage in which Am Yisrael are is after the Ma'amad Har Sinai and the big stage that we're in, and after the Nefila of Chet HaEgel. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is very disappointed. That's the stage maybe that the Midrash replies that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in now in Akamat HaMishkan. But let's go further. Rav Abba Bar Kahana, the 4th Perush, פתר קרא בעול מועד, סליחה. כן? why did he do it? לא מכיר ראשי תיבות כאלה. אוקיי. חכמות בנתה ביתה, so everybody puts his focus in different place. הקמת העולם, the end of the world with Gog ומגוג, הקמת המשכן, זה בצלאל. והמלא אותו רוח אלוהים חוכמה. So who is the cleverest person on earth? בצלאל. Okay? חצבה עמודי השבעה. So not only in the creation of the world we have 7 days, and not only in the Torah do we have 7 books, but in ימי המילואים, עדה עוד הכתיב, כי שבעת ימים ימלא את ידכם, כאשר עשה ביום זה, כי שבעת ימים ימלא את ידכם. טבחה טבחה, so as to now, the big slaughter is related to the korbanot, זה ממש פשט. מסחה יינה, another פשט. Don't use the word wine as liquids, as a mayim, as a virtues. You talk about the wine. זה נסוכי. אף ערכה שולחנה, very פשט. סידור לחם הפנים. Okay, so where do you have a set table in בית המקדש? We do have in the Kodesh in לחם הפנים, אז זה שולחן. שלחה נערותיה תקרא. So yes, so it's nice. זה משה. Yes, Bezalel is the organizer, he is the architecture of the whole thing, and Moshe is just the servant, he is an arotea, to call somebody, do me this, the slave. עדה עוד הכתיב, ויהי ביום השמיני, קרא משה לאהרון ולבניו, וזקני ישראל. So according to the Midrash, what does the Midrash want to say? Because the ויהי ביום השמיני, Moshe is a subject of the first sentence of the parasha, and he calls Aaron ובניו. But the Midrash says, don't look at Moshe as the main thing of the Mishkan. No, Bezalel is the main thing. He is an organizer. He is our architecture. And Moshe is just his servant to call all the poalim, all the doers, in order to function, to do this, to do that. But it's mamash the afaka. It's a big show of Bezalel. Okay. זה שאמר הכתוב, now Midrash doesn't relate to the posuk anymore. אם חסיד תתחסד, אם גבר תמים תתמם, אם נבר תתבר, ואם עיקש תתפתל. So this posuk is from Tehillim Yudchet, but basically is from Tfilat Chana, from Shmuel Aleph Perek Bet. Chana says that sometimes you have to, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows how to deal with each person. If he's clever, he deals with him with cleverness. If he's naive, so he is naive with him. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu does midah keneged midah to each one. Rabbi Yehuda v'Rav Nachman. Rabbi Yehuda pater kra be'Avraham Avinu. כיוון שבא בחסידות, so Midrash will explain, הקדוש ברוך הוא בא עמו בחסידות, כיוון בשעה שבא בתמימות, הקדוש ברוך הוא בא עמו בתמימות, ובשעה שבא באקמנות, crooked, הקדוש ברוך הוא בא עמו באקמנות, בשנה שנתברר על עסקיו, הקדוש ברוך הוא ברר לו עסקיו. So הקדוש ברוך הוא to the same person. Unlike the pshat of the pasuk, you can understand that הקדוש ברוך הוא relates to different people with different virtues. But according to Rav Yehuda, הקדוש ברוך הוא relates to the same person in 4 different faces, according to the face that the person comes with to הקדוש ברוך הוא. מתי בא בחסידות? בשעה שאמר אל נא תעבור מעל עבדיך. ומה כתיב תמן? ואברהם עודנו עומד לפני השם. So Avraham wants הכנסת אורחים. He says to הקדוש ברוך הוא, wait a minute, אל נא תעבור מעל עבדיך. So and it was זויכת that הקדוש ברוך הוא stayed there a long time. אמר רבי סימון, תקנת סופרים, שכינה הייתה ממתנת לו, okay? So the pasuk says על נא תעבור מעל עבדיך, but actually הקדוש ברוך הוא was waited to him, okay? Not he asked for waiting, but הקדוש ברוך הוא was really waited for a human being. מתי בא בתמימות? בשעה שאמר אולי יחסרון 50 הצדיקים, 5 מכתיב, אולי חסרון 50 הצדיקים 5, it's a mistake, אוקיי? זה 5 has to, belongs to the former, to this person, אוקיי? מה כתיב בי? ויאמר לו השחית, אם אמצא שם 45, אברהם אבינו makes משא ומתן with הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא is not מחויב to him, he started with 50, so 50, no, הקדוש ברוך הוא he comes בתמימות, maybe 45, maybe 40, maybe 30, 20, הקדוש ברוך הוא agrees. מתי באה בהקמנות? בשעה שאמר, ואנוכי הולך ערירי ובין משק ביתי הוא דמשק אליעזר. So Avraham wants to say that I don't have a kid, אנוכי הולך ערירי, but he actually negates Eliezer, and he says, ובין משק ביתי הוא משק אליעזר, או דמשק אליעזר, and as Rashi says there, he said, I don't want him to be the Yoresh, because he's a Gentile, he's not Jewish. מה כתיב תמן? לא יירשך זה. Okay, so הקדוש ברוך הוא answered him, לא יירשך זה. I'm not sure that in actually akmanut, I translated it crookedness, that's akum, yes, but I'm not sure that the Midrash relates to it in the negative meaning, because there is nothing negative against Avraham here. I have to see how the Midrash uses the word akmanut. I don't know. מתי נתברר על עסקיו? בשעה שאמר במה ידע כי ירשנה. מה כתיב שם? ידוע תדע כי גר יהיה זרעך. Okay? So maybe here is the case of הקדוש ברוך הוא, that when הקדוש ברוך הוא at the end answer him about the zera, he didn't answer him that you'll have a zera, you won't be ariri, but he answered him that your zera, your kids will be exiled from Eretz Israel. So maybe that's a punishment of that the Midrash relates to as like nakmanot. Rab Nehemiah Pater Kra, so as to now we see that הקדוש ברוך הוא deals with Avraham with four different faces. רב נחמיה פטר קרא במשה, בשעה שבא בחסידות הקדוש ברוך הוא בא עמו בחסידות, בשעה שבא בתמימות הקדוש ברוך הוא בא עמו בתמימות, בשעה שבא הקמנות הקדוש ברוך הוא בא עמו בתמימות, שעה שנתברר על עסקיו הקדוש ברוך הוא ברר עסקיו. מתי בא בחסידות? מתי משה wants to see, like comes with piousness, שנאמר הריני נא את כבודיך, משה wants to see the glory of הקדוש ברוך הוא, מה כתיב תמן, אני אעביר כל טובי. מתי בא בתמימות? בשעה שנאמר, מדוע לא יבער הסנה? Yes, so it's a nice way of looking, that Moshe comes like naive, he comes from, he doesn't know about הקדוש ברוך הוא, Judaism, Shechina, whatever, he just comes with a rationalism. Why didn't the snare burn? So אמר לי, דין דאיקרי קיים בגבי, אוקיי? אז הקדוש ברוך הוא אומר לו, I am inside the snare, I am in the midst of the snare. מתי בא בהקמנות? בשעה שאמר, אמרו לי מה שמו, מה אומר עליהם. So maybe it's חשד, Moshe was too suspicious about בני ישראל. מה אמר לו? זה שמי לפי שעה אהיה אשר אהיה. So הקדוש ברוך הוא answer him, but we didn't answer a cut answer. He says I am אהיה אשר אהיה, meaning that we'll have more problems, etc. Because he came with not straightforward, הקדוש ברוך הוא answered him not straightforward. That's how I understand it. מתי נתברר על עסקיו? בשעה שאמר לו, ואתה לך ואשלחך אל פרעה, אמר לו, שלח נא ביד תשלח, ומיד באתי אל פרעה, מה כתיב תמן? אתה תראה. So, as Rashi says at the end of Parshat Shemot, Moshe was punished since he was fighting, arguing, quarreling with the Kadosh Baruch Hu about who is a real servant. That was he punished, and Kadosh Baruch Hu said at the end of Parashat Shemot, "Ata tireh asher e'aseh leParo." As Rashi says, "Ata tireh." Now we will see what's going on with Paro, but asui le 31 kings in the future. You won't see it. That's Yoshua, because you argued so much, so you won't come to Eretz Israel. Okay, למה זה קשור? לא קשור. Let's go further. רבי יהודה בשם רבי יוסי בר יהודה ורב ברכיה בשם רבי יהושע בן קורחה. כל מם שנה שהיו ישראל במדבר לא נמנע משה מלשמש בכהונה גדולה. הדאוד הכתיב משה ואהרון בכהניו. Okay, so yes, why I'm laughing? Because each time I learn, I say the posuk in Kabbalat Shabbat, Moshe ve'Aaron b'choanav, Shmuel b'korah Shmo, I understand that the posuk means that Moshe ve'Aaron are both the Kohanim. But somebody told me once that you didn't understand, it's Moshe psik, Moshe halevi, ve'Aaron b'choanav. So here you see that the pshat is like me, because the Midrash says explicitly that Moshe is called Kohen, as Rashi said in Parashat Shemot, that at the beginning Moshe was supposed to be the Kohen, and since he argued so much, so that he lost the Kehuna to Aaron Achiv, and just in the 7 days of the Miluim, Moshe was still Kohen. So according to the Midrash here says, not only the 7 days of the Miluim, but also the whole period of the Midbar, the 40 years, לא נמנע מלשמש בכהונה גדולה. Okay, so in Tehillim we see that Moshe is a Kohen. But how do I know that it's all over? רב ברכיה ברב סימון, מה איתי למינה דקרא? כתוב בדברי הימים, בני עמרם, you have there's a dynasty from המדם הראשון till Levi, and then Kehilat, and then Amram, the father of Moshe. בני עמרם, אהרון ומשה, ויבדל אהרון להקדישו קודש קודשים, ובניו עד עולם להקטיר לפני השם, לשרתו ולברך בשמו עד עולם, לעמוד לשרת בשם השם, ומשה איש האלוהים, בניו יקראו על שבט הלוי. Okay? So from this pasuk you cannot see anything. להפך, on the contrary, you see that הקדוש ברוך הוא chose Aharon in order to be the Kohen, and you chose Moshe in order not to be the Kohen. But I think that what the Midrash understands is Vayavdel Aharon le'akdisho, meaning that it was in a certain time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose, meaning that before that, Moshe and Aaron were both Kohanim. So the Midrash or Rav Brechia wants to show that it wasn't something from birth, that Moshe became a Levi and Aaron became a Kohen. He cannot prove that it was all over the period of the desert, but he can prove that it wasn't from birth, that Moshe wasn't born Levi. Yeah, Harry?
Yeah, no. I think when the pasuk is saying that Moshe and Aaron were both Kohanim, the difference was that the Kehuna continued through Aaron's descendants, but did not continue through Moshe's descendants. Moshe was a Kohen, but his children were not.
Yeah, but
yeah, okay, that's nice. Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Moshe had a din of Melech.
Right. Therefore, what?
And the Melech and the Kohen don't go together.
Okay. That's a Gemara, and we don't say that Moshe was Melech. Okay.
But Moshe was a Kohen in that he ate korbanot and he entered into the Mishkan where only Kohanim could go.
Right. So maybe there is a chariga. There is a, Moshe is exempt from the din of Melech and Kohen for 7 days. Okay, but even if it has this din, I don't know when it started. I don't know which stage it has. Okay, etc. But yeah, what Larry said is Moshe Isha Elohim banav ikaru al shevet Halevi, meaning that he himself might be a Kohen. Yeah, I think that's a good shot. That from here you can see that Moshe is a Kohen as well. אמר רבי אלעזר ברבי יוסי, פשוט אולן שבחלוק לבן שימש משה כל שבעת ימי המילואים. Yeah, that's a very famous phrase of the Midrash, that Moshe is a משמש all over the שבעת ימי המילואים, בחלוק לבן, like a doctor. He has a white dress. So meaning that it's very clear, I don't need the הוכחה from Moshe ואהרון בכהניו to see that Moshe was a certain time a Kohen, because I know that in Shivat Yemei HaMiluim I see it from the explicit Posukim that Moshe made it. רב תנחום בשם רבי יהודה נתני, כל שבעת ימי המילואים היה משה משמש בכהונה גדולה ולא שרתה שכינה על ידו, נדע, ונכתיב וירא כל העם וירונו ויפלו על פניהם. Okay, so as to Rav Tanchum b'Rav Yuden, it's not just that Moshe took to himself just 7 days, but Moshe wanted to widen it. Moshe, if it depended on him, would be the Kohen, would try to be a Kohen. And since at the end of the Yemei HaMiluim, it didn't work out because Moshe tried 7 days, and for the 7 days it was okay, but he didn't start the Mishkan to work at the 8th day of the Miluim. And just Aharon, he is the person who brought the Shechina. That's why you can see that Moshe wasn't longer a Kohen. So according to Rav Tanchum, שלא לפי הקודמים אליו, you can see that from Moshe tried to be more than that, and Moshe was blocked because the Shechina didn't come. That's why he stopped. אמר רב שמואל בר נחמן, כל שבעת ימי הסנה היה הקדוש ברוך הוא מפתה את משה שילך בשליחותו למצרים. הדאו דכתיב, when Moshe says, גם אתמול, גם משלשום, so tomorrow is 2 days, today and yesterday. גם משלשום, the day before, so it's 3 days. גם מאז דברך אל עבדך, so the Midrash understand that it multiples the 3 days on which I spoke. גם אתמול, גם משלשום, meaning 3 days. גם מאז דברך אל עבדך, meaning another 3 days. הרי 6, ובשביעי אמר לו שלח נא ביד תשלח. Rashi brings it on פרשת שמות. אמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא, משה, אתה אומר שלח נא ביד תשלח? You don't want to be the servant? אוקיי, חייך שאני צורכה לך בכנפיך. Remember that. מתי פרה לו? רב רכיה אמר, רב לוי ורב חמור, רב לוי אמר, כל זין ימי אדר, היה משה מבקש תפילה ותחנונים שייכנס לארץ ישראל, בשביעי אמר לו כי לא תעבור את הירדן הזה. Okay, so it's two interesting points you have here. First of all, that according to the Midrash, there is a Kabbalah that Moshe passed away in Zayin Adar, as we know. The Gemara, the same Gemara that we know in Megillah says that it's a Kabbalah. We know it. Okay, so the Gemara makes a Midrash. The Gemara says that they were Ovrim the Yarden in Yud Nisan, and it was 3 days of Achana, and this 3 days of Achana started after the 30 days of mourning for Moshe. So therefore Moshe died at Zayin Adar. Here it's clear in the Midrash. That's one. And the second thing interesting is that דברים ג', דברים ג' is the beginning of פרשת דברים, אלה הדברים אשר דיבר משה לכל ישראל, והשם אמר אליי כי לא תעבור את הירדן הזה. So meaning that according to the Midrash, the whole big speech of דברים ג' was said at the day that Moshe died. Okay? Because usually we understand that Sefer Dvarim starts at Aleph Bishvat, ויהי ב-12 חודש באחד לחודש דיבר משה לכל ישראל. And then Moshe had 5 weeks to say, speak, whatever, all the long speech, and then he died. And the only psukim who deal with his day of death is Vayelech Moshe, is Parshat Vayelech. But here, according to the rest, the whole Sefer Dvarim is at the day of his death. So according to Rabbi Levi, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was angry at Moshe, and 7 days he argued, 7 days HaKadosh Baruch Hu lets him argue and then says no, big no. רב חלמו אמר, כל 7 ימי המילואים היה משמש בכהונה גדולה, וכסבור שלא היא בשבעה. כלומר, משה was sure that the 7 days will last forever. אמר לו, לא שלך היא, אלא של אהרון אחיך, הדאו דכתיב, ויהי ביום השמיני. Okay, so as to now, Moshe, either by being punished for the 7 days of argument, or that he was punished or blocked because there was no Ashrat Shechina, but according to the Midrash, Moshe was thought in his mind that he would be the big Kohen. And then the chidush of the first pasuk, ויהי ביום השמיני, אמר קרא משה לאהרון ולבניו, doesn't say only that it was just סיפור הדברים, that the 8 days, then Moshe called him and say, start operating the מקדש. No, but ויהי ביום השמיני, there was a surprise. הקדוש ברוך הוא told Moshe, no longer are you a Kohen, and therefore קרא משה לאהרון ולבניו ולזקני ישראל, and said, okay, from now on, I come back to my small role as a Levi, you be the Kohen, you are functioning as a Kohen. From now on, you'll operate the Mishkan. Let's finish here. Shavua Tov.
Very good. Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Shabbat Tov.
Shavua Tov.